As soon as I let go of the struggle, as soon as I quit struggling, it was like I connected. And it was like, poof, I was above the water. And I was like surrounded in like beings of light or like warmth. And they said, look. So first off, I want to know if you can hear me with this rain going on in my RV. And maybe I should take my bracelets off so I don't clink around a lot. And my cat is running around, so that might be noisy a little bit. There's a lot of things that I was like, or is the lighting not right? I'm not sure. Probably need one facing at me. But a lot of things have been trying to stop me from this video also, which is me. But people have been reaching out to me about me opening up about my most vulnerable things that happened to me. And I'm realizing that letting go of shame and things that have happened to you that have held you back and that you just really don't want to admit that happened to you, or there's some sort of guilt, shame, or did I mention shame? Because it's full of things that hold you back. And if you've gone through stuff like I have and you pretend it didn't happen to you forever, and then you end up pretending forever that things don't happen when they actually did, and so it kind of messes with your whole reality of, am I okay? Is it okay to have a voice? Because I didn't have a voice. So is this even recording? I don't even know. So we'll see if it's even right. Is it going? I feel like it's going. All right. I moved the rag that was over there. I think we're all good. Ready to go. People wanted me to elaborate on my story. In fact, about the time I was drugged for 2 weeks and on acid, and then I ended up drowning in the Willamette River, and I spoke with angels, and I was given a choice to stay or come back. And of course I chose to come back because I'm a warrior. Yes, we are here for a reason. And I chose, well, I didn't choose, but I ended up going to alcohol for 2.5 decades because when this happened to me when I was 21, 24, I'm 51 now. When this happened, oh, Jesus, it's so hard to talk about. But yes, when I was coming out of that, let's see, where do I begin on this one? I'm admitting the fact that I was raised in a very pedophilic situation where my dad, he was abusive at first, and then it wasn't until I actually came into puberty, and then he's a single dad with his 2 daughters, which I have a half sister, and it wasn't until he purchased a house that he had 2 bedrooms, and he let us both have a room by ourselves because we needed it. And he slept on the couch because he's such a great dad. That was the story he told everybody. So that's exactly when it started. I'm going to try not to say so much like I did in the original one. So, yeah. So, the reason I had to tell that in the story of my near-death experience is because the reason that people drugged me is because they thought I had nobody to call, because I would not, as far as I was concerned, I had no family, because I didn't have a mom either. I was raised without a mom. So I just had a dad until my sister's mom came in the picture when I was around 7. So, but they had their own, they did their best with what they had also, is how I'm going to leave that there though. So, there's substances and stuff that, back then, anyways, I had no one to call as far as these people knew, that drugged me, and I was stupid enough to think, and I wasn't, if you didn't watch the original one, it was really hard for me to say this too, but I'm just going to get it out that I did intravenous drug is because they convinced me that was the cleanest way to do it. But since I wouldn't do anything for it, and I wouldn't pay for it, and I wouldn't anything like that, the cook that to retell my story, he didn't read the other one. He used my house as a like a sanctuary away from his chaos, I guess. But since he couldn't control me with it, they ended up taking the acid that my friend gave me. I was supposed to get rid of it for somebody for, anyways, I don't know if you should I had 10 hits of like Celtic knot acid or something like that, and I only got rid of 4, so now I had 6 left. And that's the only thing I can come up with that this whole thing happened. But they found out all my fears, because my dad used to read the Cosmic Communications Awareness newsletters, which you can still look that up. I guess they're still publishing that stuff. That was way back in the late 80s and early 90s. I used to hear about the stuff all the time, and all that stuff is actually coming true. And so I've always had an open mind, but this is, I thought that was some sci-fi shit, but this world, this Matrix thing is the sci-fi stuff. So, man, I've been through a lot. It's really hard to put it all together, but an ex-boyfriend brought this cook to my house, and then he ended up going to jail. But since they couldn't control me, they ended up putting that stuff in my veins. And when they found out all my fears, they brought people over to literally act like aliens or different things, just to like reaffirm the fears that I had in my head, that the government is taking over everything and the aliens and all that stuff. And so as it started to happen, this goes on for 2 weeks. And the only reason I know it goes on for 2 weeks is because the babysitter that my daughter was at told me it was 2 weeks. And this lady worked for the state, by the way, and found out later she was cahoots with him. I guess I'm jumping ahead in the story, but they tried to control me with this stuff, tell me all these stories, and I ended up, wow, there's a lot of different stories. At one point, they had me decide between going with the God and devil, and I don't know, like in the other video, I don't know if he was trying to sell me to somebody or something like that, but I ended up leaving with the other guy, and I had a bench warrant for my arrest because, like I said in the other video, we could just go there, I guess. I had a bench warrant for my arrest, but so I went to jail on acid. And when I went to jail on acid, let me tell you guys, this was intense. I was stretched out like that, and there was a female officer, frisking me, and there's 2 male officers behind her, and I was pretty fit and thin and young, 24 anyways, and the girl was like way up in my stuff, and then as she was doing it and kept doing it, the 2 officer guys behind me were all like, woo, woo, and I may have been on acid or whatever. I didn't know I was on acid this whole time, so I'm literally an observer. I literally have no idea that, I'm just like, whoa. And as they're frisking me, though, I don't know what they're going to find in my pocket. So I'm literally frozen, because I don't know if I have some ass in my pocket. Did they put some, like, that white powder crap in my pocket? Or, I have no idea, right? So I have no idea. Then they take me to the cell, and I sit in the cell, and I don't know if none of y'all been to jail before, but hopefully most of you haven't. But they have those little pads, and you just flip it over, and you're supposed to sit on it, lay on it, whatever. And they're like this thin or whatever. Condensed, I have no idea. Toilet paper, I have no... but I didn't even flip it over. I just sat there like this, because in my mind, they had me thinking that, the government can hear everything, and the aliens and everybody's watching all the time anyway. All the time. And so... But I sit there, but the girl that's in the cell next to me, she is screaming like crazy, and she's screaming and screaming, and what she's actually saying is the stuff that I'm thinking. But I'm like, how is she screaming? But then she's starting to freak out a little more, and I'm in my mind, I'm telling her in my mind to like calm down. And as I told her that, she calmed down, which was totally weird. But the jail ended up releasing me to this guy. This was the first time that the governmental agencies released me to this guy. The second one was after my near-death experience from the hospital. So, thinking that the government to go over everything, and I'm supposed to marry this guy, I'm thinking this is real. I slipped into this really weird dimension and I was slipping dimensions, let me tell you. But I didn't know I was slipping dimensions till way later, because you go through all of it, and you kind of look at all, what do you call that? Integrate it. You have a lot of integration afterwards. But, especially since I didn't know that I was, there. But there's another time we're walking down the street, and, he's like holding me arm in arm, and he said if I step on the cracks, they can't see me or something like that, or if I don't step, one or the other. And so I'm like, oh, I'll step on the cracks so they won't see me, stupid crap like that. And also, one of the person that was there, she said that every time I got a hair in my eye that I would think of her. And you know how many years after that every single time I got a freaking hair in my eye, I would think about that freaking girl? Crazy. Yeah, this guy said he worked for the CIA, and I don't really know what's true or not true, but I don't know, but I've seen evidence of a girl before also, because I was kind of locked in a room for a while, and I was going through the clothes, and it was clothes to fit me and this and that, but it was my size, but I found pictures of this girl, and I don't really know, I feel like I've done it before, but all that before, but that's like totally mess with your mind. They like put little things in your mind so it'll like plant little seeds in your mind that you'll think about later and stuff. It's crazy. And another one is, I remember sitting in a car, and it was, I don't know if the angels are trying to help me with this one, because talking through music, because Rush, Roll the Bones came on, and it's what was the phrase? Choosing not to choose is still making a choice. That was a huge thing that was going on in my mind. I was like, choosing not to choose still makes a choice. Choosing not to choose. That's a huge deal. I don't know. Here's another one. Oh, and then also I'm walking across the street, and we had a plaid pantry across the street. It never closes, ever. It's in the middle of the day. I don't know. And everything seems so freaking weird. I don't know if I slipped into a complete different dimension, but I went there, and then the plaid pantry was like, they shut the door on me and locked it. And I don't know if it was maybe the guy that was with me, he was telling them to lock it, because I was right there, and they're like, no, 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 and they shut it and locked it on me. And I was like, this was the weirdest thing. I just don't. There's a few other things. What else? Oh, another time, they're like, oh, we're going to take you to the farm. And I'm thinking, oh, yay, if I want to go to the farm, I'm thinking cows and sheep and horses, gonna farm it up, But then they blindfold me, and they take me out to, I know it's the direction of South Salem in Oregon here. And, but I don't know how far we went. But anyways, I get there, and I've learned to not talk or anything, or not say anything, or any kind of judgment. I'm just an observer, I told you, by this time. And I get out, and there's all these he goes inside to this little shack, which has all these tarps everywhere, like this tarp makeshift, I'm not sure if there's rooms and tarps, because I don't know how far it went, because I was just stayed in the front part. But then there's all these kids running around. All these kids, all shapes and sizes, black, Hispanic, white, hair's all messed up, they're all filthy. I'm like, where the hell's any parents or any kind of thing like that? And they're all like kind of excited that I'm there and the whole thing, and just, I don't even know. That was really freaking bizarre. But I did, now that we're hearing about all this stuff going on now with the TRA stuff, F and hell. Yeah. That was bizarre. Let's see, another time. Oh, the time that should I just get to the time that I woke up and I was naked. This is kind of crazy, because I don't know the time span or how I even ended up there. I woke up and there was nobody in my apartment. Was being evicted, by the way. So I'm in my daughter's room, and I wake up on the floor, and the sun is beaming on me this way, and I'm on the floor, and the bed's there, and I'm naked, and I get up, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And she had these ABC books next to her, that my daughter had ABC books, like my grandma gave them to me. Anyways, I open up a couple of these books, and it's like these characters are trying to talk to me, and they're moving, and they're saying but I sort of figured out some, I shut it, and then he had me so messed up, like, should I wear a blue shoe, should I wear a brown shoe, is it so I don't even know, I'm that messed up, so I'm like, just put on shoes, who cares, put on shoes. I grabbed my expensive ass mountain bike, I don't know why I'm telling you that, but the fact I ditched it at the top of the river, and not even, anyways, I'm like, I'm out of there. I get on the bike, because nobody's in the house, I'm finally by myself, and the apartment, and I shoot out the door, and as I do, I look over, and there is an army truck going by, and I'm like, hell no, I'd rather die running than take a mark from the beast, from the freaking government like this. I am not living, this is not, no, forget it, I'm not doing it. And so, has this been crooked this whole time? Yeah, whatever. So I get on my bike and I head to the river. And as soon as I get to the river, I ditch it at the top and I'm down as fast as I can. And like I said in the other video, it's in Salem, so and there's West Salem. There's a ballpark across the street. This is the only thing I could think that the cheering came from, because I get down to the river and people, there's some cheering, and I'm thinking everybody that's like me, that's not taking a freaking mark from the damn government, is across the river. And so I'm in the water as fast as I freaking can. And as soon as I get in the water and I swim just a little bit, I swim, and then I realize, and I'm like, oh, I swim, and then I'm like, struggle, and then I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to go back to being a fish. Not like a salmon or anything, but like a fish. Like if I could breathe water, and like a, I guess mermaid, I guess you would think. But I'd go back to being a fish. And so I know it sounds ridiculous, huh? And no, I was not trying to kill myself. No, yes, I was trying to breathe water, but no, I wasn't trying to kill. How do you explain that to no one? You don't. It's just, anyways. So I'm trying to breathe water, because all I have to do is breathe water, and then as soon as I do, in my mind, that I will transform into being a fish. And so I try to breathe water, and then since I can't, I'm like, I start to get pissed. I'm like, well, fine. And logistically, if I sink, then eventually I'm going to have to breathe water, right? So I sink, and I let myself sink. And I remember the water getting further and further away. And then I just remember and right there, it was like this. It was like as soon as I let go of the struggle, as soon as I quit struggling, it was like I connected, and it was like poof, I was above the water, and I was like surrounded in like beings of light, or like warmth. And they said, "Look," it kind of sounded like in my own voice, but it wasn't. But it was. But anyway, they said, "Look," and I looked, and I saw the most putrid world, and I could hear like rampant rabid dogs running up and down. You could hear gunshots, you can hear screaming. There was like, you can hear engines, and like the pollution, you could see the oil slick on the water. It was just nasty. Like, God, I could just, the screams, and I was like, no, and I screamed no. And I said, okay, well, look. And then I looked, and I was like, it's the most beautiful world. It was like, the trees were so green, and the purple haze around the trees, and the sky was so blue, and you could just feel the love and the blue of the water, and it was just gorgeous. And I said, yeah, but as soon as I blinked, it was great. And they were like, you can't be a light in the dark. You can't be a light in the dark. Or you can't be a dark in the light. I have to choose. I'm not sure if that's exactly how they say it now too, but I take it as that I've always been a person of the light. I've always had a bright, shiny light, but I was letting people do this to me just because I thought it was the cleanest way to do it. And it was just, why? What is wrong with you, Sonda? Don't you know that do I have to really go, do I really have to go do the worst of the devil's work just to know exactly what the demons I'm dealing with? Because I went and had lunch with them. You know what I mean? I'm just wondering, because I look back at it and I'm like, how could you be so stupid and naive? And so many things could have happened. But when I know that there's angels, but anyways, let me get back to they're showing me this. And they said, you can't. And I remember thinking, as soon as they said you could stay or you could go. And then there was like something inside me, and it felt right here in my belly. And I was like, I have a mission. I signed up for this. I have a mission. I am here to fucking fight. Excuse my language, but not really. I'm here for the freaking long haul. I'm here for the shift. But now I know what it meant, because of that feeling, because now is the time to share this stuff now. I turned to alcohol because I couldn't explain any of this to anybody. But now after turning on Next Level Soul podcast just a little while ago, I realized I'm not alone and I can actually bust out with this. But it took a lot of saying this because of the shame of how I got there. And anyways, as soon as I decided, gosh, do I go around? Yes, I'm ADD. Can you tell? But as soon as I decided, I was like, yes, I'm staying. And as soon as I firmly decided staying, I was poof on the boat. Like, I felt the most serene. Like I was there, I was fine. And then they must have just got done pumping my stomach or everything, and I could see them all around me, and they were freaking out. So I was like, oh shit, in my mind I was like, maybe I should freak out a little bit just so they don't think I'm really that weird. So I freak out a little bit, but I wasn't. But then I remember getting to the hospital, and they're putting all the warm blankets on me to get me warm, because I was in the river for a long time. They said, oh, well, from the river all the way down to from the bridge all the way down to Spong's Landing and a little bit further. I don't know if you know Salem or anything like that, but that's how far I was. Quite a while, and it was really cold. But anyways, I can't believe it myself either, to be honest. But I could hear alien voices when they put those blankets and stuff over me. And then the people were coming at me. And I had a medicine pouch around my chest, and it had little things in it too. And I was so messed up, I thought they had a microphone thing on it, because I kept looking at the... Anyways, I wouldn't let them take that off of me. Everything else, because they stripped me naked, and I thought that they were going to have their way with me or something. I don't know. I thought it was up for grabs, to be honest. Like, there's a white guy coming. Is it white supremacist? And there was a Hispanic. Is it Hispanic? And I was like, I do not know. Am I up for grabs for I have no idea. The trafficking? I don't know. Don't mean to say that. But, yeah. And then the hospital releases me to the same guy. I mean, and I don't even know how I got from... See, I don't need to know the segments in between. I only know the fragment, the little spaces I remember. Like in the other video I told you when he dropped me off, that's another space that I remember. If you'd like me to repeat myself on this video, that he dropped me off at a couple's house, and to scare the living shit out of me, and I was so scared that I passed out in their bed, like scared, and it's so scared I passed out. And when I did though, I met Archangel Michael, and he spoke with me. And he put me in my place and got me correct. And I remember him flying me down my DNA. Like we are flying down. And I'm seeing like scenes. Boom, 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 boom. And I couldn't tell you what those scenes are now because I don't remember. But I remember when I finally got down to the bottom DNA, like boom, I'm in my body. I was like secure, and I was a phoenix. I got out of that bed. Like I went to bed the most docile, scared. They were like about it, and I got out of that bed like I was raw. They had to call the guy to come get me and deal with me. So that was another episode. But I don't know how I got that babysitter to tell me to call my dad, and because they all thought I didn't have anybody, and they did. I remember a couple times they were trying to get me to sign this piece of paper to sign my daughter away. But I wouldn't do it. I would always follow along and be naive with what he's saying to do, but in the back of my mind being like, no, there's always a way out. I'm a lot smarter than this. So I wore that guy out. I'm telling you what, that old fart. Anyways, he's passed by now, so he's somewhere. Yeah, there's no such thing as death, so no, kitty, come on, you're gonna make it wiggle right there. Don't do your, sorry about that, guys. Come on, kitty. He's trying to get out. He's trying to disturb this whole process, because I almost didn't do this video today, and I am going to post it, because this is this is the story, and it's crazy. I have a whole nother story too, but anyways, I got him to, the babysitter that worked for the state got me to call my dad, and he ended up coming to get us, and I was just going to have him take my daughter, because my dad, there was my sister too, because I knew he wouldn't do anything with her there, because nobody knew anything. It was only me that this whole issue was happening with. So didn't even come out about me until I was about 30. So that was pretty intense as well. So it's been a secret. It was a secret that whole time too. So my sister didn't know. So I knew my sister would be good to take care of my daughter if that were, anyways. But I ended up going there too. And then I ended up going to a farm afterwards, a real farm, and getting my head back together. And that is when the spiritual stuff was intensely at me and got me completely together. And then I tried to tell everybody about stuff, and then that did not work in any way, shape, or form back then. I didn't have any cell phones to talk to anybody. We didn't have the internet like this. We didn't have something to look up where you could relate to other people with the same kind of thing, unless you looked up like the sleeping prophets and stuff like that, or the channelers and like the woo-woos. And I didn't want to be the woo-woo, although I understood a lot more. Stop, kitty, no. Hey, oops, sorry, guys, shit. Shoot. Can you not do that? Where's my spray bottle anyways? I forget. Please don't. Anyways, I'm not the woo-woo. We're all woo-woos. You kidding? So, I turned to alcohol for 2.5 decades, and then 4.5 years I've been sober, which I'm so grateful. And anybody can do this, you guys. And anybody that's stuck in that hamster wheel of alcoholism, that other devil, one of the devils, I am here for you. And I'm sending you good thoughts, and you could make it out of there. This isn't just a sobriety call. So this video was just a recap or a part 2 on what people were asking me to talk about this. But it really is important that people talk about their shame. Get it out. Because once you do, you feel freaking liberated. And I really don't care if everybody knows about me and what happened to me when I was in the past. And if they want to judge me for any of that shit that those people did to me, that's on them. Because I am like a healed soul inside. Sebastian, can you not? If I can find my spray bottle. No. You know. Yeah. So. Very important, guys. He's going to knock the camera down just now because he's like, it's done, Mom. We're done with this film. But I love you all. It's important to get the shame out. No matter what it is. Lots happen to all of us. That's what's weighing us down. Is the shame and the guilt. And there's no reason to hold on to that kind of stuff. Especially when it's just giving all the power to the person and people or situations that did that to you. Or that you put yourself in. Or whatever the past had. It's the past. It's time to learn, grow, stand on it, be firm on it, be a phoenix, and let my cat out. Yes. I love you all, guys. This world is ours. Let's just be strong together, okay? We can get you through anything. Yeah. Like I said, I don't know how to end these. And until next one. And none of these are going to be perfect. So that's okay. That's okay. At least I turned it on today. And I hope it's been recording because I really don't know, actually. So, I love you guys. All right. Bye.